Like to ask you to excuse the outside noises. It's actually pretty chilly this morning. I wanted to have a discussion with you guys about the nature of man and the nature of karma. So, karma, everyone's heard the word karma before. Now there's the phrase instant karma, where it shows someone doing something evil and then something, retribution happening to him instantly. There's a famous one where a guy is robbing at gunpoint a taxi driver, and literally there's an unmarked police car, turns on the lights, grabs the guy instantly. All human beings love that. Every human being is designed to love justice, is designed by God to love it when something bad is happening and then something heroic comes to end the wickedness. People that do not love these type of things are the people that have transformed themselves with their own wickedness to become people of that nature. You see, God has created people with fields. We all have varying magnetic fields. Our vision, our senses, these just relay a minute amount of information to our consciousness. But in reality, there's a whole bunch, a spectrum of fields and attractions and repulsions that are taking place that are far beyond your understanding. You send an email to someone. See, there's hidden truths. When you send an email to someone, you don't realize what you're really doing. What you're really doing is you're taking electricity, voltages, and you're manipulating voltages, and you're sending that person manipulation of voltages. That's all you're really doing. See, that's the hidden activity in email. And there's a hidden magnetic field in all of humanity. So when you are a bad person, or when you are wicked, or when you get delight in tormenting others, or when you take advantage of another person. I heard a guy, he had a change of heart. He actually became a good person. He had a breakdown. He came to God willingly. He said, I used to steal from people. He used to con people and take advantage of them with pyramid schemes and such. And he told of a woman. He said, I took $400 from this woman, and it devastated her and her family. She was a single mom, and she just wrote to me and said, I just hope you needed that money more than I did. And he said he felt like a piece of shit and instantly changed his life. And as I listened to him, I really felt that he was remorseful. If I was the judge of this man, I would give him another chance. I could hear it in his voice when he said, I became that guy. In just that sentence, I could feel the disgust he had in himself. And if it was up to me to forgive him, I would have forgiven him. But who am I? I am just a messenger. I am a soldier of God, I am an attorney for God, and I am the messenger of God. If you are approaching someone and you want to bring them to this religion, you want to bring them to the correct answer, Deen, you have to know who you're communicating with. This isn't lip service that I'm giving you. Pay very close attention to what I'm saying. You have to know who you're dealing with. And you have to understand how they perceive themselves and how their world is perceived by them. Because the understanding you are going to have of them is going to be very different than the understanding they have of themselves. When a Muslim sees a Christian, the Muslim is disgusted by the Christian. On many different levels, the Christian religion disgusts the Muslim. Very rarely will you ever see, except for, propaganda videos, very rarely will you ever see someone who grew up or was brought into the fold of the Muslim religion go to Christianity. Why? Because inherently in the Muslim religion, you are taught that Christian thinking is absurd. And in many ways, it is absurd. It's absurd because the main ideology in Christendom is that someone died for your sins. You did wrong action, so an innocent person had to suffer, had to be humiliated, had to experience pain, torment, and embarrassment because you did something you should not have done. It gets crazier the more a Muslim or an atheist or an agnostic looks at the Christian religion from a bird's eye view. Again, it's very different for the Christian. Very close Christian friends, and I understand how this is puzzling to people. How can I be friends with a Christian? How can a Christian be my friend? I don't want to put any Christians on the spot, but if your name rhymes with Bender, your username rhymes with Bender, you're one of the people I'm thinking of when I tip my hat to your friendship. And it's a genuine friendship. How can I be friends with Christians? Because I know the Christian is not what they appear to me to be from their point of view. The Christian is not seeing himself as someone looking for the easy way out, someone to take the responsibility for their wrongdoings. They're not looking at it as, oh, these are people that have such a warped understanding of God that they are literally dopey enough to believe that God became a man and was humiliated and beaten on the cross, and also other absurdities that they themselves can't articulate rationally, like the Trinity. God is also his son, and he sacrificed himself to himself for the sins of his creation. None of this makes sense. But this is not where the Christian mind is. The Muslim is judging the Christian based on this. The atheist, the agnostic, they all judge the Christian based on this. But this is not where the Christian mentality is. Christian mentality is actually in a place of love. Believe it or not. They look at everything, when they think of Jesus, they think only the sacrifice. They only see the beauty. They don't apply overlapping critical thinking judgment to the narrative. All they see is that God loved the world so much that he gave his only begotten son. They don't break it down any more than that. So they say that one sentence and then immediately just focus on love and brotherhood, and that's it. They're not exploring any more from a critical perspective. That's it. And that's why I can have Christian friends. Because I know when I have a friend who's a Christian, I know I can apply critical thinking to their doctrine and make it look ridiculous. It's very easy to do. You don't even have to apply critical thinking. If you just take the text at face value, much of it is absurd. I was talking to this one Christian. This is funny. This is how you can tell most Christians never read the Bible. On Gab, I'm banned for mostly all Christian groups. So if you can spam my shit on Gab, I would love you for it, especially in Christian groups. I was telling the story in the Bible about how it instructs you to cut off your wife's hand if a burglar comes in and she tries to defend the house. I actually gave you a full example of how this scripture would play out in real life, and here's how it could happen. So you're a man, you have knee surgery. You just had knee surgery. You're on the Vicodin or whatever the fuck poison pharma that they gave you, and you're on the bed and your wife is there. Your wife, she's been watching the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu bullshit videos and she's got her kung fu down. A burglar comes in. He wants to kill you, rape your wife, and take all your shit. But because your wife has been watching the Gracie Jiu-Jitsu videos, she knows to grab a rock and beat that motherfucker right in his nutsack, and the dude drops. Well, what you're supposed to do according to the Bible is you're supposed to cut off your wife's hand and show her no mercy. That is absolutely in the Bible. But the Christian doesn't know that. He literally, on Gab, he's telling me, oh, that's in the Bible. Show me where that's in the Bible. Mocking me. He doesn't even know his own Bible. I'm not even going to go through the trouble of looking it up for you. Just do a Google search, Bible cut off your wife's hand, and see how that shows up. And see how many of these people never actually read their doctrine. The Muslim likes to throw it in the Christian's face that the Christian has never read the Bible. most of them have never really read the Quran. The Quran is a very ridiculous book. It's got points of brilliance, just like the Bible, but also points of absurdities. The inheritance laws in the Quran was written by a moron. An actual fucking moron. Anyone that says this is the writing of God, this is just my opinion. God should punish them for just this stupidity alone. But this is an insignificant opinion, just my personal Joe Blow opinion. Ridiculous, absurd shit in the Quran. The story about finding the right cow to beat the dead person with the cow bone, and then the person rising and saying who killed. Just the dumbest stories imaginable in the Quran in terms of creating a religion. This is dumb thinking. This is not writing that's going to bring you closer to God. This is writing that's going to bring you closer to stupidity. Sometimes I'm amazed that people can't tell right away how devilish the Bible and the Quran is. There's a story about a guy being instructed to chop off his son's head, and that guy is supposed to be seen as something holy and virtuous. Chop off your son's head. I'm asking, what would have happened if God would have told this man to give his son oral sex? Oh, you're disgusted by that. Oh, you're repulsed by that. You're more repulsed by a God telling his creation to give his son oral sex than telling his creation to chop off his son's head. Right? You think chopping off your son's head is virtuous? You think this is the command of a God? In any context, I know the Muslims are going to say, oh, but God stopped it before it happened. I don't want to hear your stupid shit. Your God is a devil who wastes people's time with dumb shit, who wastes water like crazy, who has people walking around the black box like a fucking idiot thinking they're somehow virtuous or holy, who makes people pray behind man ass. That's what your God is. He's a God of praying behind man ass. This is the Muslim God, the ass God of Islam. The thing about this religion, the correct answer is that there's no absurdities in this religion. There's no embarrassing rituals in this religion. You don't make a fool of yourself in this religion. You don't pollute your children's mind into believing dumb shit in this religion. This is a religion that respects science. This is a religion that follows the scientific method. This is a religion that shuns superstition. This is a religion that understands that the laws of physics are a decree of God until the end of time, and no psychic bullshit happens with anyone. The Muslim is the closest to us in religion. We are very similar in our understanding of God's abilities. We both believe God has no beginning and no end. We both believe God has no partners. We both believe God is the creator of all worlds. But here are the differences. The Muslim, they got a lot of God's physical attributes correct. His physical prowess, his physical description. There are some objections, like they say God sits on a throne. There's no throne that's been told to me that he sits on. God's throne does not shake whenever gay guys have homosexual activity. That doesn't do anything to God. It doesn't rock him. God did not say it's okay to rape slave girls like it says in the Quran. Of course, as history went on, Muslims started getting embarrassed about that line, at least like the PR Muslims. So they started changing that instead of saying, oh, you can rape slave girls, because that phrase used to tell you every girl that you were allowed to have sex with. Now it's just that which is lawful for you is what your right hand possesses. Yeah. Also, in the Muslim religion, the gravest sin. I'm asking, what do you think the gravest sin is? If I just walked up to you, you don't know me, but you know I'm not threatening, I just want to have a conversation with you, and you're willing to engage me, and I ask you, hey, my new friend, what is the gravest sin you can think of? Are you going to tell me, well, the gravest sin I can think of is making a partner with God? No. You're going to tell me the gravest sin is ass fucking a child. Child rape. That's the worst sin you can do. That's not in the Quran. As a matter of fact, there are hadiths that say Muhammad at 50 married a 6-year-old. A 6-year-old girl. Can you imagine this absurdity? And then you see horrific pictures with Saudi men with little children talking about they're married. Married. This is a prophet of God you throw these absurdities upon. Because people cut and paste religion as they see fit. You know, caffeine, ahwa, coffee. This is forbidden in Islam. Tea is forbidden in Islam. If you follow the Quran, then that means you must refuse all mind-befogging products. And then, if you go with the hadith says anything that intoxicates in a bucketful is forbidden unto you in a shot glass. But see, they're hypocrites. They cut and paste and change, and when something's embarrassing, they gloss over it. There's none of that in this religion. That's your pitch. This is a direct relationship with God. There's no money in this religion. I don't take donations. If you see any money dancing in front of me, that's from the website owner. I'm here to remove all money from religion. I'm here to remove all obstruction from religion. I'm here to tell you you don't need to be a part of a church. When you want to pray to God, you can go into a room by yourself, close your eyes, and just think of Him. Think of everything you want to say, and you'll see things will start happening in your mind. You'll start to be guided in God's special way just for you. He has a special way of guiding each individual. And everyone listening to me right now, I assure you, God has a way of guiding you if you just listen. This is a complete reading of all the revelations I have been given thus far. This reading is valid as of May 24th, 2022. Again, this is from the Book of Thought. This was the book that was revealed unto me. You are under no obligation to read or recite these prayers as a believer. These are just given to you as a means of serenity. This Book of Thought is completely unique. There's nothing else like it. This religion is completely unique. It is forbidden to collect money in this religion. There is no tithing in this religion. Once I start reading, I'm going to stop doing commentary. I'm just going to read straight through. So just another point I would like to point out. The name of God is Allah, not Allah. It's a completely different thing again. This is not the Muslim God. This is not a God of forced ritual. This is not a God that burdens His creation with absurdities. Let's begin. 'Tis not possible. No man can speak the truth without being hated. 'Tis not possible. How can it be so? You must either offend the brother, father, mother of such, and as such you will be hated by the hypocrites. You will come at a time when the hypocrites are strong. They will be strong in numbers, and they will be strong with hypocrisy. I will end the intoxication of their arrogance with shame and mockery. I shall shackle them in shame and mockery and lead them to the path of my vengeance. For ye who delight in the torment of others will have their delight repaid unto them with the suffering of thirst. They will be prevented from the mercy of being able to beg for mercy. I will make you something strange to them until they have been bestowed in my comfort. I will place wind on top of wind and fuel it with my contempt for wickedness. I will then command this wind to hunt the wicked for me. I will command this wind to pulverize the wicked in my name. I will make the streets of the land noble by washing them with the blood of the wicked. Through their own ears, as if being spoken to by themselves, to themselves, they will curse themselves. They will blaspheme in placing their judgment before mine. They will blaspheme by placing their arrogance before my knowledge of all things. My horsemen will be protected by the seen and unseen as ordered on my decree. I will put anger in the sun and command it to hurl its contempt upon my challengers. O mankind, be not people of superstition, be people of righteous study, and thou shalt be people of righteous guidance. Allah is the impeccable, the one who bestows, the one who subtracts, the one who guides, the one who allows, the architect, the artist, the educator, the final punisher, the judge, the one, the commander, the forgiver, the compassionate, the merciful, the irresistible, the uncontainable, the unstoppable, the one who cannot be seized, the defeater of all challengers, the patient, the equalizer, the humbler, the all-knowing. Say, O dear Allah, we beg you to make it easy for us to come to you. We beg you to remove any obstructions caused by our arrogance and our ignorance. We beg you to protect us from the temptations of wickedness and from the false promises of pride. We beg you to keep us in a state of enlightenment so that we may be aware. O dear Allah, if it is your plan that my wish be fulfilled, it shall be so. If it is not, I beg that you enlighten me with the comfort to accept your decision with peace and tranquility. Prayer that has been inspired unto me. Do not let governments divide us. Do not let nationalism divide us. Do not allow wealth to divide us. Do not allow the color of skin to divide us. Only allow truth to unite us. O dear Allah, please forgive the sins that we make in both states of love and in states of contempt.